too. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the O.C.D. podcast. My name is Chris. I'm the C of O.C.D. This here is Otis on the left-hand side. Otis Collier Jr., named after the encyclopedias. And this here is Daryl Gordon. What?
You couldn't say Otis Redding? Otis Redding? Seriously?
Collier is the name of
Otis Redding.
I said Otis Collier, as in Collier for Collier encyclopedias. The encyclopedias that I had, that made me into the mountain of information that I have right now.
Shoot me.
Oh, that's Daryl Gordon, by the way. Yes.
You already said that.
Oh, by the way. Matter of fact. It's a matter of fact.
That guy too.
Yeah.
So,
That guy.
all right. So, as the description is pretty accurate. We're three dudes.
Yeah.
That was kind of obvious.
No, and there's more to this. We've been friends for what, over a decade now?
Yeah.
Well, over a decade now.
2004.
Ooh, damn, that's almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel old.
Wait, whoa. Gentlemen, see
You're
yourself.
only getting old.
Shoot.
Y'all really.
Y'all. Anyway, so we decided that, we have one of these wonderful things. Life has taken us to many different areas.
Yes.
Sadly, it's taken my friend over to Jersey. So, there's that. I really feel bad for him. And then this guy here is in the Bronx, and I boogie.
Yeah, boogie. Right.
Oh, and I'm Brooklynite. As they say, we go hard or stay hard or whatever the hell it is. But either way, yeah, Brooklyn too.
Oh my gosh. He's butchering it, people. He's butchering it. Go ahead. This is supposed to be an intro. Go ahead.
This is fine, Brooklyn, but anyway.
Yeah. Very much.
But okay, I butchered this. So what we're going to do is we're going to be quick about this. We've been friends for years. We're college friends. Do we want to talk about what we do, or
I'll chime in and rescue my lovely friend Chris because he's drowning right now. Okay, so yes, we've been friends for a while. People, believe it or not, we are all educated. We are all have higher learning. So please don't let the goofiness fool you. We are well-functional people in society. We all met at Medgar Evers College. Yes. Big ups. And we have basically ventured into other things in life. I guess you'll learn our personality as we keep going on, but just understand that we do have a serious side. We will try to show pieces of it and kind of endure the other parts of it and enjoy. I mean, there's nothing else really to talk about. Let's just dive right into it, man.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
This is the beginning of the year. And what do people usually do?
Fart.
Did you say fart?
Yes, he did.
He did really say fart.
I thought we were supposed to be serious here.
10 seconds. I got 10 seconds. That's it. All right.
Okay. You were saying that. Jesus Christ.
Okay, good. All right. Usually make promises to themselves for themselves. Okay? Some stick, some don't. Okay? Now, take it away.
Oh. Okay, I will catch it because Daryl threw it. So this week we're going to be talking about setting goals. Setting goals for physical. What does that mean? Physical can mean anything for many different ways, but us, we're going to take more so the fitness, health kind of route, I guess. I guess that's the route we're going to take, something of that nature. Okay, so we're going to start off with the first question. So, Chris, can you read the first question out there for us?
I can. So the first question here is, how do you keep yourself accountable for your goals? I mean, everybody starts January, or that's the usual thing, starting January with some sort of New Year's resolution. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be better at that, yin, yang, and blah. Well, how do you keep yourself accountable for your goals? That's just the average question that before you set your goals, you should try to answer. How would I go about setting, like, what goals am I setting, and how do I go about being accountable for them? For me, I try to do this, or at least what I try to do is like you guys, like my friends, right? My friends, basically my family. I say it out loud. I speak it out loud. I tell people about it. So people now know that this is something that I'm going to do. Again, and this is not all the time. It's just for there's certain goals that I know that I need to articulate out loud so that other people can sort of inquire about. And the great friends that I have here usually do. They're like, hey, how's that thing going?
Hold you accountable.
Right. And even if it's not just, wagging your finger, it's more of a, hey, how's that thing going? And you're like, oh, yeah, how's that thing going? The proverbial tie that's not here.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm not really on it or keeping, like, I know such as I was going to ask about it, so I should really keep up on it. And again, I know I'm talking about these ethereal goals. Like, I haven't really spoken about one in particular. But let's say, for example, the one that I wanted to start this year is becoming more mobile. And in terms of fitness, like mobility and flexibility versus strength.
Oh, okay.
That's something that I've been dealing with. I have reoccurring injuries because of imbalances. And so one of the things that I wanted to do was try to stop focusing so much on look at all this muscle, looks great. Yeah, it looks great. It's just, I can only move like maybe 3 inches. This is how much mobility I have. So one of the ways I've started is I actually started going to physical therapy with my bro here, Otis, and who's fantastic at what he does. And he was the guy holding me accountable. I am an instructor, a teacher in college, and it's hard for me to not hold other people accountable while not holding myself accountable, but it happens. So one of the reasons why I have these guys around me is because they are the people who keep me accountable. They are the ones who keep me from sort of
Going crazier than what you are?
that too. or
I just thought
throw that in there. But they're the guys who keep me accountable when I'm giving myself some slack. And so that's one of the things I do. I tell my friends about it. I articulate it out loud to people. This is what I'm planning to do. This is what I'm going to do in terms of my mobility. It's something that I've announced on my channel. That's the new goal that I have in terms of what I want my body to be able to do. Common average things that people take for granted that I don't understand about. So that's one of the things that I do. That's one of the ways I hold myself accountable. I don't know.
That's pretty good, man. Darryl, what about you? How do you do it, D-man?
I like to say that I am the rock that built these two guys.
Can you elaborate on that, sir? Maybe the audience don't know how you're the rock.
I'm the rock.
Peter. Okay, Peter.
Not Dwayne Johnson rock, but I wish. Yeah. But check it out.
Okay.
We all started as students at Mega. Somehow I managed to be the fitness guy in the gym. And that's where we all pretty much bonded. And, oh man, you have taken it above and beyond. And I am so proud of you for that, right? Chris has gone above and beyond as well. Yeah. So I feel like the Papa Bear. Yeah, just saying. 50-year-old Papa Bear.
For the past 10 years, people. For the past 10 years, it's 50. 50. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this guy is rather modest, but one of the things that, and I am not afraid to say this, one of the things that he has helped me to do, he is the rock, because for real, because like when most definitely rockhead, yes, but in terms of keeping goals, one of the things that I did do is I reached out to Darryl about like trying to get me back into the gym, or at least trying to get me back into some form of fitness. After my gym shut down because the COVID regulations,
everyone's
just about everybody's, right. I ended up losing my job as a personal trainer at New York Sports Club, and I enjoyed being outside. For the summertime, it was fantastic. I took on clients. I was running around. Wintertime is a little bit harder when you don't have indoor heating or any heat, and you're trying to generate your own. I began running a bit more, but one of the things that I reached out to Daryl for was to try to get back into the gym. I was nervous to walk back in.
I don't know why. So, you're like, you bounce back, you and Otis's, tutelage, and you bounced.
I did.
You bounced back.
But what I needed was somebody to drag my ass back. So this guy here, let me tell you how cool this is. The one to talk about being accountable, being held accountable. The reason why he's here from the Bronx, came down to Brooklyn, is because he came to we use his membership in Retro, which is literally 2 blocks away from where I live. And he brings me there. So he comes down, drags himself all the way through 2 boroughs to make sure that I get the workout, because I can't make any excuses. Well, you see, so I just stayed home or some crap like that. So that's one of the great reasons. I mean, the great thing is he's also here. So
it's accountable for each other. Why aren't you here? Why are you late? Why this? Why that? Why aren't you late?
Pretty much. I mean, what I'm hearing from you two, it sounds like one strategy of being accountable for one another is kind of like hiring a coach. It kind of sounds like that. Like you were kind of coaches. For Chris, you said that I was kind of like your coach for your mobility. Daryl was your coach for coach professionals, kind of like that. I mean,
but it goes both ways.
I agree. I definitely agree. It does. It does go both ways.
There's some, I don't want to go to the gym. So what? I'm 30 pounds over. All right, D, when you coming?
Yeah.
It works both ways.
It does. I can see how it works both ways. Just one of the strategies I use is more so I think about things that's bigger than me. It's not all about me. If I have that vision of it's bigger than what I'm trying to do, it kind of motivates me that if are other people depending on whatever I'm trying to do. So let's go physical with that. If I don't keep my physical health up, then if it deteriorates, then am I going to be there for my family? Am I going to be there for my friends? Will I be a burden for them? So I kind of keep that up so I can keep my energy up so I can be there for them. So that holds me accountable, because there's many dog days when I don't feel like going. I feel like being lazy. It's like, dude, why am I doing this? And then I think about it. It's like, dude, you're doing this so if you wanted to, you can get on the floor with your kids and play with them. You know what I mean? That might sound nuts, but you'd be able to do that. You'd be able to bend down. All these little things that we take for granted, all these health, physical things, this is one of the things I think about of trying to be accountable, and also to age gracefully. Like, I need to age gracefully. I because of the field that I'm in, I see both ends, where I see people that take care of themselves, are physically healthy, and when they get to, like, let's say 90, I've seen independent 90-year-olds that you won't even know. But I also see 40-year-olds like, dude, you had a rough life. So I see both, and I appreciate. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be anyone's burden. So I try to be physically healthful, try to be physically fit throughout the duration of my life, so I can be independent. So that is independence. That's just me. My 2 cents, people. My 2 cents.
Oh, you're 100% right.
All right, so then this is a good question in terms of that. When we talk about keeping each other accountable, you talking about the how it's bigger than just you. Like, you can't, like, you're a part of something bigger, and if you falter, then that comes down. Then the question is, especially for what you were talking about, what does success look like?
What does success look like? For me, physically, success is depends on the goal. Truthfully, it's more so, can you recognize success? But if I set out a goal, we're going to be an arbitrary goal. Most people trying to lose weight or build muscle, whatever that means. So if you're trying to lose weight, yes, did you lose the weight? But do you feel better about yourself? I mean, how is that measurable? How would that be effective in other aspects of your life? So success is very relative to the person. As long as you agree with whatever it is, I think you'll be okay with whatever success is. But it means different things to different people, in my opinion.
Sure.
So what does success mean for you, D?
That's it.
When I get there, I'll let you know.
How would you know you got there, sir? How would you know you got there? How about that?
I will feel a sense of accomplishment, a sense of I did it, a sense of exhaling. You know? So when I get, I'll let you know.
Well, that means that this is a constant thing. I mean,
yes. Trying to stay well, trying to keep your head above water, physically, spiritually, emotionally is a job. And the older you get, the more it becomes a job that you have to always stay on top of.
I hear that.
I'm gonna piggyback on that. So I don't know what does success look like. The problem is, I recognize that sometimes how I see things might be a little skewed. And so what I might think of as success at one point or another, when I was younger, what I thought success looked like was to get the body, to get to be big, to be bulkish and huge, be able to lift large things. As the Planet Fitness commercial says, pick things up and put them down. But I was like, that was me. And I remember that there was that. Again, when I was younger, like Jesus Christ, we're talking about like what 1800s now. When I'm talking about my teens, but when I was coming when I was going through high school, I remember being like the 130-pound kid who just like I did some martial arts, but I couldn't put on any meat, any bulk. They see a lot of guys. I was like, damn,
what kind of meat do you want to put on, sir? I'm sorry, people. I couldn't help it. Go. Pretend I just said it. A minute. Keep going.
Set me up. Like, I can't say anything to that. There's nothing I can say to that. Muscle, sir.
Oh, okay. You just gotta be specific. Because you say meat, you can take that many ways.
I need to be more specific with this guy.
Yes.
I wanted to be more muscular. And
okay.
I saw.
You said 130 pounds?
I was 130 pounds.
I was that in the 5th grade.
Damn.
Yeah, I was a moo-moo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, but this is great. Now you're the Rock of Gibraltar, man.
My nickname in the Boy Scouts was Buddha.
Buddha? Oh my gosh.
I never told you that, old man?
No!
Right. Oh my God.
Man, I have a feeling maybe I should never have right now.
Oh, I'm gonna rub your belly.
Yeah.
But okay. Back to the topic. Chris, you was talking about the meat. You wanted to put on meat on you. Meat, I mean muscle. You wanted to put muscle, not meat, muscle.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to put muscle on, right?
Yeah.
And then it was crazy because I think I went through a pretty shitty relationship at one point or another. It was my first one. And you never forget your first, right?
Nope.
And I remember one of the things that I did was I was going to Brooklyn College at the time, and I started going to the gym. And I was just emulating what people did because I'd never worked out or had any weights or anything like that. I just started looking at what people were doing. I started picking things up. And one of the great things about being in the gym was that people were really receptive to that. They saw that I wanted to do something, and they were like, they picked it up, and they were like, hey, let me show you how to do that correctly because, you're exaggerating this or you're doing things like that. So it was always a helpful atmosphere just going to the gym. So what success looked like to me was at the time getting out angry and frustrated feelings. Once that sort of went the way of what bad relationships usually do, they didn't destroy you, they make you better.
Yep.
And then I started looking at success being, okay, I'm starting to get more size. I'm starting to get more attention, particularly from people who I actually want to have attention from. And I'm like, oh, this is good. This is what attention is good. This is what success looks like. I like this success, right?
Like this. The ladies like it. Yeah, I get it.
And then then that changed too. After a while, it became sort of like, then it wasn't just about the look, it was about what I could do, the strength, what can I do, pick up, things like that.
Yeah.
Then I started competing. I think you guys know I started competing in shoot to God, it was old. I was going for my graduate degree at the time, and I was first year, 2009. So yeah, I know, right? So 2009, 2010, I started trying to compete, and that there was what success looked like was doing a certain amount of reps and weights. And then it changed again. So I realized that there were a lot of injuries. And so it took me a while to get out of what I thought success was in terms of fitness, because now obviously it's more about longevity and the amount of wear and tear that I put on myself through training. Some training not necessarily so good, other training exceptionally, like, you know, there's a reason why we call ourselves O.C.D, because there's an element to that to all of us. And so the amount of work that I did and wear and tear.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. It was, I mean, come on now. Like, we're not just Otis, Chris, and Daryl. There's an O.C.D situation here.
You're giving them too much early, and Chris, too much early. Let them get that figured out on their own, okay?
But one of the things, like, what was difficult for me was changing what success looked like.
Yes.
Because I was always, it's like, I mean, some people who might have used or who are current users might understand the idea of the first hit. You never get the first hit back. Mm-hmm. The initial, like the pump, the size, the strength.
Yeah.
I was always chasing it, still chasing it.
Yes.
Trying to get my mind out of that and recognizing that, you know, I don't need to do that to be physically fit, and trying to change what the parameters of what physical fitness looks like is something, again, body dysmorphia.
The endorphins that goes off in your brain, it just feels so good. It's almost like a drug, okay? It because if you do it long enough, you become addicted to it, because your endorphins, I mean, it's just a pleasure sensation. For me, at times, it has been personally my therapy, okay? Physically, mentally, emotionally, let me hit the gym. I feel better, okay?
Are you referring to exercise?
Excuse me?
Are you referring to exercise, just for clarity?
Yeah, just exercise. Well, sex in general, just a power walk, just getting, pumping some good iron. For me, it has been, at times, it has been great therapy.
So success would be like getting through the day from one point to another, or like
getting your mind off. Is another challenge. Every day is
kind of okay. So that kind of like segues into the next kind of questions. The next two questions are kind of like a merge. I'm going to merge them both. It's like, what are 2 or 3 strategies you could achieve for your goals, and what tools you think you possess that can kind of help you with these strategies or create these strategies? So I'm going to let The Rock go first, because he is the foundation. Yes. Okay.
That's a nice segue. Because I got to think of this answer. That sounds really complicated.
Good. That's a very good question. What tools do I bring to the table? Knowledge. Facts. Knowledge. And along with age should come some type of wisdom of prior mistakes. If you have not learned from the past, then you are destined to repeat it in the future.
Super facts. That's crazy facts.
That's all I can say about that. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to live by that at 50.
I hear that. So one of the strategies I use to help achieve goals is to focus on the behavioral goals versus the outcome goals. So just briefly, behavioral goals are steps you can control and that you can do. And the outcome goal is the actual vision, the goal you're trying to get. So to make this simple, if you're trying to lose 10 pounds, you'll say the outcome goal is, I want to lose 10 pounds, but you don't really have a plan on how to do it. But if you focus on the behavioral goals, I'm going to exercise 5 days a week. I'm going to not eat after 6, or I'm going to drink this water, whatever steps or behavioral goals that you have, and you decide to focus on them in a month, you realize, hey, I got to my 10-pound goal, and you didn't focus on the actual, I have to lose 10 pounds. You're not really focused just on the scale. That's like a byproduct of your goals. So I usually focus on behavioral goals. What can I control? What's in my possession that I can do, that if the plan is appropriate and I do it, at the end of it, when I look up a month, 2 weeks, or whatever, how many long, I will get to the goal I'm looking for. So that's one of the strategies that I particularly use to help get me to where I go. And the tool I use is vision. I believe in meditation. I believe in, if the mind has not been there, the body will never follow. So I try to see it in my head, rehearse it so over and over, so the body can accept it. So if the body and the mind must be in sync. So if the mind is one place and the body is other, and they don't communicate properly, it's like a divorce, a division. So they must be in a team together. So I kind of visualize it. I see myself doing it. I see myself getting abs. I see myself lifting that heavy lift throughout the whole day. I picture myself doing that heavy squat, that heavy dip. Yeah, it really is. When you know you're doing a heavy lift, you're like, you know what? I see this going. Yeah, it might feel this way, but I see myself successful. It really matters. I mean, it really matters. It does. So, and you start to do it, and you believe it after a while, and your body just has no choice to kind of follow. It's obey. You know what I mean? So those are the things I use. Those are the things I use in the gym that kind of works for me. What about you, Sir Chris?
So what's funny is like this. I wish I could say that was a saying. I've always been, and admittedly, I've always been more short-sighted than anything else, right? I've been more about the short-term gain, the short-term pleasure, long-term pain, right? And that's not the way it's supposed to go. But I remember in high school they were like short-term pain for long-term pleasure, and
that's a man thing.
But honestly,
that's a yeah.
I started like in the gym. Small thing. There's two things. When it comes to me, I'm not necessarily the best client, but I can tell when I tell people as a professional, like the measured steps, it's different. It's like, all right, what we want is like, we want small steps. Like if you go up by 2.5, that's significant. 2.5, 2.5. Anything. If you do one more rep than you did before, if you do one more set than you did before,
advancement.
All of that is advancement. And again, maybe there's a hypocrite in the hypocritical side about this is that I always had these higher goals that didn't have the smaller jumps in between it. And I was just like, oh, well, let's just do this. And when I didn't make it, I'd be upset. So let's say if I jump from 225 to 250 on a bench and I couldn't make the 250, but I could get 245. I didn't see the 245. I'd be like, well, damn, I didn't make my goal. And not recognizing that that's what it was. One of the strategies that I decided to use was the people around me. I noticed I have a fantastic way of gravitating towards smart people. And the things that I couldn't see, they could see.
Is this our clue right here, old man, to pat ourselves on the back?
I mean, maybe you want to take the pat on the back, but you can't. You can do that.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm smart or not. I just know I'm smart enough to know I'm not that smart. So
the more you know, you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So
like for real, guys, like for real. The thing is, like, think about our Bali days, right? I'm going to take us back. Remember back to Balis when we used to do when we were following my routine.
And I need you to keep this in under 30 seconds, sir. People do not want to snore from your long Bali stories.
We used to do insane amounts of sets and reps, and these guys were like, "Chill, we did like 10. Can we stop? What the hell are you doing?"
Yes.
Relax.
Yes.
I was like, no, we didn't hit the number. And they're like, I didn't finish the number. And I'm like, calm down. You guys are like, calm down, dude. It was just like, calm down. We did enough. And that was, so the measurement, the strategy I keep is like having people around me who can measure better than I can because my measurements are off, and I'm like, yeah, but look at how many things we did. Well, we didn't do that. And I'm like, yeah, okay. So I'm the guy who's half empty, and I've learned to be like,
oh my God, that was so you.
I learned to be the guy who's like, all right, I respect what you guys say. So that's one of the strategies, like hanging around people who actually can moderate and understand what moderation means and can spell. So it's nice.
It's not me. It's not me. I'm telling you, people, I can't spell. Okay?
That's crazy. I can't pass math, but I can damn sure spell and write.
I could help you with the math. You see how we all combine? I got you in the math and the science. I got you. Don't ask me to write. Don't ask me to speak. It's like you're speaking Martian. I'm sorry. I mean, you were saying a wonderful point about accountability. Go ahead, Chris. We chimed in. Yeah,
it's all good. You know how this goes. But so when it talks about that's the strategy 1, 2, learning to, like you said, learning to respect and see the smaller increases. I can see it for clients. I can see it for people who I care about. For other people, I couldn't see it for myself. So learning to be able to see that small increments count. I'm doing that now, and it's working. It's been helpful. Small, I did a little bit better here. I was able to get through this a little bit more there. Small things add up, and
they do.
And I had to believe that. So learning to believe that.
It's the little things.
Learning to believe that is the thing that helped me. So I know it seems rather cliche or corny, but like I'm still dealing with that. I'm still trying to figure that out too. Like setting small goals for yourself so you don't get overly disappointed when you try to shoot your shot and you're like, I missed out on it. So small steps. I mean, I know it sounds dumb, but at one point or another, do you guys remember when I was afraid of lightning? And I'm like, I couldn't I can actually go outside.
Oh, thank God.
So I'm like, okay, don't give me that look, Otis. I can actually
I saw the look on the way.
But I can actually go outside and walk. Before I would just be like, you guys know. I'm like,
Otis did a Scooby.
I would never be able to move. I'm like, okay, get the lights down, turn the TV off. Small steps. And I had to learn to respect that the small steps. Like I wasn't running to the store, but at least I can like open the window, respect that. I can get my shoes on. I can go outside and not be completely petrified. Small steps really do matter. And that's what's helped me. That's one of the biggest strategies that's helped me sort of respect that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just experienced one of the many rants that Chris will be going through about all these podcasts. Please be prepared for them. They come in abundance, okay? Just be prepared for them. That was actually pretty short and good, but be prepared for them, okay?
You bastard! Like, yeah.
I love these two guys. Okay, so let's go to the last question. Let's go to the last question.
Honestly, but yeah,
I know you were trying. I saw it. I saw you trying. You were thinking like trying to cut down. I'm like,
bring it back.
Yeah. Okay, so the last question, fellas. How do these physical goals, the goals that you have physically, how can these goals affect other parts of your life? What discipline you get from building physically, how can they affect other parts of your life, basically? So I'm gonna let
it does, because it gives you confidence in other areas of your life. You can't walk into an example, you can't walk into a classroom and expect to teach, or you can't walk into wherever with confidence and you do not feel good about yourself. You have to have a certain amount of confidence within yourself, no matter what you are doing. If you feel good, 8 times out of 10, you're going to look good. Not all the time, but it goes hand in hand. It goes hand in hand. Your confidence level, and it's an emotional thing. If you feel good, more than likely you're going to try to look good, and more than likely it's going to radiate out of you towards other people.
I can't disagree with that.
I love that.
I'll piggyback.
Not all the time.
It doesn't always all the time, but I'll piggyback off of that. Like one of the greatest things that happened to me was being able to work out physically, doing that physically helped me become more confident, and being more confident allowed me to take more chances in other things. Those other things became greater things that I didn't even think I could do from before. But it did really stem from the idea of working out and getting my confidence up. So when it comes down to, like, you know, what they say, one win begets the next win.
Yes.
One victory continues with the next.
Yes.
Victory one was being able to go into the gym. Victory two was being able to do these things and set certain goals that I attained. And then three, like, it doesn't have to be physical, moving outside of that. Again, maybe it's just a natural thing. Maybe it moves naturally for us. I'm speaking for all of us in this case, but I realized that, like, when I did physically, I was like mentally, I was like, oh yeah, I feel better. And then, you know, and then once I got that, I was like, yeah, I think I should be able to take that on. I could try that. Why not? What's the worst case that could happen? So like, that's what it looked like in terms of how how that moved into mental, emotionally. It also helped me, like, you know, I dealt with things in the gym. It helped me prepare myself, be better, even just looking at weights, or whether it was dealing with certain things, or listening to people, interacting with people, like, emotionally and mentally, I was better prepared to take on certain things. So when I could step into a classroom of a bunch of strangers and sort of hold their attention, that was like, yeah, that stemmed from me going to the gym, being able to talk to somebody and get advice and give advice.
Yes.
So yeah, it sort of bridges its way, even if it wasn't something I did purposely.
Okay. Me, all those points, actually, I can relate to everything you said about the confidence. But the big thing I got from it was discipline. I got discipline, where I know that in order for me to really achieve what I physically want, this is going to take some time, man. And that kind of like mirrors what happens in life. Most of the things in life, you don't really get fast. It takes time, and you have to kind of stay in the grind, stay in the work, and appreciate the work. So it helps me appreciate the journey, not the destination. So I learn to enjoy the process and learn from the process of that, and that builds in everything. That can go true for school, where, you know, you have a 4-year, some people have a 7-year or whatever. You know what I mean? I wasn't even trying to poke fun, but I was meant more like a PhD, but it takes time. It takes time. I mean, it can go to a business. You're trying to build up a business. It can go to trying to make a family, trying to understand that, to your body, everything. It takes discipline. You need to be regimental. You need to have some kind of habits of that. So yes. So that's what I got from it. I really lean on my discipline from the gym and physically, and I kind of take that into other things. So that's what I really take away from the physical aspect is the discipline. That's really what I got from it.
If I can interject, so particularly of you guys, like, how do you see the connection between what you're able to accomplish physically into spirituality? I know it might be getting heavy here, but I mean,
okay.
It's always interested me, particularly about you guys, how if there's a connection, if at all. I mean, it may not be, but I mean, I don't know.
There is, but I'll let O-Man answer this one first.
So just for clarity, you asked me, how is the physical goals? How does that? What was the question?
What is that? Your physical and your fitness and taking care of yourself. How does that relate to your spirituality?
Or does it? I mean, it may not.
Or does it?
Well, in my eyes, it does. The body is a temple, my temple, and more so, it's only my temporary temple. So this can bleed or weave in and out of religion or spirituality, whatever you believe in or don't believe in. That's really up to you. But I really believe that because your body is like an energy, you need to take care of the vessel that's holding the energy. If your vessel is subpar, then that energy will not be able to contain. You'll allow different type of energy that you probably don't want to. So if you have a good mind, you have a good body, everything's health, everything is good, optimal. all the non-positive things that you're probably trying to deflect. You won't be able to do so if you're in bad health. It's more susceptible to let unhealthy things happen to you. If you are eating fast food, I'm just going to take a quick example. If you're eating fast food, you're more susceptible for your immune system to drop. So you're more susceptible for cardio diseases or any kind of things like that, and it can kind of cascade further on. Versus if you are more conscious of this thing and you are decreasing your amount of intakes of fats and all that other stuff, then your likelihood of your immune system is higher. So you can fight off the bad stuff and you keep the good stuff in your body. So it's kind of reflects with that with energy. So I kind of bleed into physical and energy kind of intertwines with me. So I'm gonna let The Rock finish this off.
No, you said it. You pretty much. It's all connected. It's all connected. I mean, there's been times when I have said, depending on what your beliefs are, whatever, I have said, oh God, I feel so much after workout pain this morning, and I say, thank you, God.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, because I feel a sense of I did something. I feel a sense of there's more to come. With consistency. I feel that whoever you look up to is helping me achieve where I want to go. So, I think it's all connected.
I couldn't agree anymore. Fellas, this was fun. This was actually the first. People, you have no idea the backstory of how we got here, but maybe we'd share that.
That sounds like a cast all to itself.
That sounds like another podcast for another time.
Separate episode shoot.
Pretty much. So I'm gonna let our Chris to sum up what we just kind of discussed, hit each point in 30 seconds or less, people. Okay. 30 seconds or less. That's his challenge. This is like a live challenge. Chris didn't know he's doing this. Okay, 30 seconds or less. Can you sum up the iPod? Go for it. Go.
30 seconds or less. All right. So what the rundown, the general rundown is that we want to try to keep ourselves accountable with whatever means or whatever goals that you've chosen to do. However you can do that. You want to keep yourself accountable with the goals. You want to speak them out loud. You want to consider that this is bigger than you, that you're a part of something that's important. And if you don't hold up your end, that could be problematic. You also want to consider that, what your success looks like. You want to envision what success possibly looks like for yourself and for other people around you when you partake in these tasks, whatever your goal may be, intellectually, mentally, spiritually, physically. You want to make sure that you have this idea of what success is going to look like. It may change, but the idea is having a goal, seeing what it looks like, seeing how it can affect other people is important. What you also want to do is you want to think about what tools you can bring, what things that you do in terms of the tools that you bring, the characteristics that you have. You want to be able to see what you can use, what powers you can use that you bring for yourself that will help aid in your goal making and in achieving your goals. And ultimately, you want to try to find strategies, linking up with smart people, seeing what you can do, trying to find strategies that can help you continue on with the goals that you've set. And ultimately recognizing that this does not just last or stay in one area. If you're doing something positive and goal setting here and achieving these goals, they usually bleed into other things, and it usually overall makes your life just about more positive. That's the best that I could do in terms of writing it down.
People, that was his 30 seconds. That was his 30 seconds.
You asses!
He actually did good, people. That was his 30 seconds. Okay?
What we go through.
I do not appreciate speech shaming people. Okay?
That was. We're going to work on it. We're going to work on it. But that was
my goal to work on that.
It wasn't bad. Okay? Okay? So we're going to wrap this. We're going to wrap this craziness up. I don't know what you call this. This is This is OCD. This is like a mixture of
compulsive disorder. Yeah, disorder. It's definitely disordered. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
but
but
it's all good.
it's like chaotic organization. I don't know. It's like
chaos.
Yes.
Expected unexpectedness. Madness.
Yeah. So this was great, people. I love talking to these two gentlemen. I look forward to keep doing this. I appreciate everyone listening. Until next time, take care. Peace and love.
Most definitely. See you guys next week.
Peace and love.
Right.
All right.
Later, guys.